Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As some of you may have already seen, the bracket for the Warhammer World Championship has been released to the public, and there's going to be filled with 64 very capable players as they vie for that number one spot. So today we are going to be going through each and every one of the matchups all the way leading up to the final to see who is going to be taking that final championship title. So without further ado, we are going to be getting right on into the first section. We are going to be breaking it apart group by group. So let's get that switched on over. And here we are. So this is going to be the first section. So we are going to be having Blood Penguin versus Dark Phoenix, Soothsayer versus Zero, Super Munchkin versus TTR, Samurai versus Felix, Tweety Conway versus Slayer, Flying Taco versus Papa Palpatine, Zablaski versus Rame, and Evenstar versus Legion for this top contestants. So for our first predictions, we are going to be going through, and so we're going to be seeing Dark Phoenix is going to be taking the first match over Blood Penguin. I'm going to believe in Sooth is going to be able to defeat Zero. TTR going to be taking Super Munchkin. He did have a very good performance so far in the tournaments. Me thinking he's going to be taking that match there. We're going to be having Felix over Samurai. And we're going to be seeing Tweety Conway, who is another one of those players who haven't really heard of, but has been doing quite well. So I think he's going to be taking that game over Slayer. Flying Taco, one of the favorites for the series, is going to be going forward against Papa Palpatine. Zablaski is going to be defeating Rame. And then we're going to be seeing Evenstar triumphing over Legion for that round of 32. Now going into the next stage of that, we transition on over to there. Soothsayer, I believe, is going to be taking the game over Dark Phoenix. Felix is going to be taking the game over TTR. And then for the bottom section, Flying Taco is going to be taking Tweety Conway. I don't think Tweety Conway is going to be able to quite ride that train all the way to the finals. I think Flying Taco is going to be just a little bit too difficult for him to be taking that one. And then Evenstar, who is another very good contestant, going to be progressing to face Flying Taco for those final 8 spots. And for the top 8, or at least in the top 8 for this upper bracket, we are going to be seeing Tlaxdilin, Soothsayer, and Flying Taco are going to be the top 2 contestants here. And for going into the top 4 between these two, I do believe Flying Taco is going to be taking that one of those 4 slots going into those quarterfinals or semifinals for that. And so that's going to be my predictions for this first bracket. And now we'll be switching on over to the next section here. And for that next section, we are going to be having Energized and Saphir. And then we're going to be seeing Heisei versus Soder, Magic Yang versus Fairtrosm. We're going to be seeing that, I think, Chinese name going up against Showtime. We're going to be seeing Rizel versus Zach B. Sane, Falcon versus Riffle Shuffle, Tank versus Kalharman, Ralag versus Dargan Turtle. And for the predictions going into the second section here, I'm going to be... There we go. We're going to be seeing Energized progressing through into the round of 32. Heisei as well against Soder. Magic Yang will be defeating Spheritrosm. Showtime, who has been doing quite well himself, I think is going to be able to progress without too much of a problem. Zach B. Sane against Rizel. And then we're going to be seeing Falcon, again, one of the heavy favorites going into the tournament, is going to be defeating Riffle Shuffle. And Riffle Shuffle is quite a good player in of himself, so I'd be surprised if he is able to give Falcon a good run for his money. And I'm going to be seeing Harmon, who again is one of those rising stars, so to speak, going to be going forward against Tank, and then Dargan Turtle, who has had a very good performance himself, proving that he has been able to play quite well against some very tough opponents. I believe is going to be progressing for that round. And now we go to the next stage in it. We're going to be seeing Heisei going to be taking it against Energized, and that may be a little interesting, but I think Heisei definitely has it in him to be defeating Energized here. Magic Yang going to be taking out Showtime, and then we're going to be seeing Falcon no surprise here, progressing past Zach Bisane. Kyle Harmon, I think, is going to be, again, defeating Darga Turtle. He has done quite well. And now we're going to be getting into some of the real tough spots here. It's going to be hard to really predict all the way to the final. But I do think Magic Yang is going to be taking it. Again, and then he is going to be facing Falcon then for one of those final spots in the semifinals. And for this group here, I do believe Falcon is going to be progressing past Magic Yang to take that second spot, and then he will be facing Flying Taco then for that first semifinal. Now we're getting into the other side of the bracket, so I'll switch over to that as well. As we flip on over, and we're going to be seeing Guac versus Slade X. Going to be fun seeing Slade have some fights. He always has some fantastic armies to be bringing, so really exciting to see what he's going to be bringing to the table. Then we're also going to be seeing Iron General versus Basilisk, Iskandar Two-Horn versus Shidoku, Leopard versus Lotus Moon, Vicious Satsuma versus Ice Power. It's going to be a very fun series, I'm sure, to players very, very strong with their respective factions, being Greenskins and the Dark Elves. And then we have Moore versus Unreal Expectations, Alec Rawl versus Bruce 1990, and then we have Newport versus Nameless Order for the final matchup in this group. So for my predictions then on this one, I do think, well, I want to see Slade X move forward on the final, so I'm going to be picking him for that first matchup. I think Iron General is also going to be a very strong contestant here, so he is going to be moving forward against Basilisk. And then we're going to be seeing Shidoku against Iskandar, and both of these contestants are very, very good. I think it just kind of comes down to consistency, and I think Shidoku has that over Iskandar, so I think Shidoku is going to be moving on for there. And then we're going to be seeing Lotus Moon taking that next spot over Leopard. And then Vicious Satsuma, I think, is going to be triumphing over Ice Power. He has proven himself very capable in some recent tournaments, so it's no surprise seeing him move forward. And then we're going to be saying Moore against Unreal Expectations, and this one is kind of a hard one to predict. I think it can go either way here, but I'm going to be going with Moore. And then for the last two, it is going to be Alec Rawl over Bruce. And again, this is another one of those matchups where it's like Bruce has been doing very, very well, but so has Alec. So it's going to be really a close matchup here, but I'm going to be going with Alec Rawl. And then for the last spot, Newport over Nameless Order. And Newport, again, has been one of those players who has been playing quite well, and I do expect to see him moving forward. And now for the next one, I'm going with Iron General over Slade X. I think Slade X's luck can only take him so far here. I think Iron General is going to be able to prove supreme over him in that matchup. And then for the next spot, Lotus Moon, I think, is going to be taking Shidoku. He is a very good player and has proven himself to still be doing quite well, despite maybe having a little bit of an absence from multiplayer over some of the more recent months. And then Vicious Satsuma is going to be taking the battle over Moore, and then Alec Rawl, I think, is going to be taking that game over Newport, and that is going to be setting up a nice little RTK battle in the bottom half of this group. And for the final two contestants moving forward, I think Iron General is going to be able to defeat Lotus Moon, and Vicious Satsuma is going to be taking it over Alec Rawl. And really, I mean, at this point, I mean, these predictions, I mean, it's going to be very hard to predict it this far. This is just kind of going what I'm going with. And between Iron General and Vicious Satsuma, I am going to be leaning towards Vicious Satsuma moving forward for that third semifinalist spot. And he will be facing one of the contestants from the final group stage. So we'll be going over that one real quick as well. So for the final group, the one in the bottom right corner of the 64-man bracket, we are going to be seeing Anyage versus Livzity, Bobman versus Manbreed, Blackthorn versus Crabling, Hanotis versus Imperator, Alfredino versus Takoyaki, Voilos versus Lunacy, Gabo Slayer versus Helios, Prussian Prince versus Phoenix King. So for my predictions then for this group, we are going to be seeing Onyege moving forward against Livcity. Bobman, who has been doing rather well. He has been like winning all of his series so far, and that I think is going to be able to move him forward over Manbreed to face Onyege in that round of 32. Krabbling going to be taken over Blackthorn. Again, Krabbling is one of those heavy favorites here in the tournament. He is a very strong player and has proven himself again and again to be doing quite well. And then Imperator, I think, is going to be taking it over Hanotis. Alfredino is going to be taken over Takoyaki. I think Takoyaki has been playing rather well, but Alfredino, I think, is just on another level in comparison. I think Void Laws will be able to take it over Lunacy, Gabo Slayer over Helios, and Prussian Prince over Phoenix King, rounding off the round of 32. And then going into the next round here for this group, we are going to be seeing Onyege moving forward over Bobman. I think, Bobman, while he has been winning all of these series so far, I think that they've all been so very close, and I think that is kind of going to be where his luck is going to be running a little thin, as I think Onyege is going to be moving forward. Krabbling, I think, is going to be taking it over Imperator. Imperator has been doing very well. This is kind of his return back to the tournament scene as of late, but Krabbling, again, just the track record with him, I think Krabbling is going to be able to defeat Imperator. Again, I think that's going to be a very good series, though, regardless. I'd love to be able to see that series in action. And then I'm going to be seeing Alfredino take it over Voidlulls and Prussian Prince over Gabo Slayer for that Sweet 16. Going to be finishing that off. So now let's go into the round of 8 for this final group. And I do believe Krabbling is going to be taking in that round of 8 slot, and then Alfredino is going to be taking it over Prussian Prince, and that is going to lead into a matchup between Krabbling and Alfredino, vying for that final semifinalist spot. And I do believe in this matchup, you're going to be seeing Krabbling advance to the semifinals to face Vicious Satsuma in that second one. So now, with all of that groups leading up to the final 4 contestants, let's get over to that final bracket and just who I expect to be seeing moving forward with that. So transition over to there. So we have Flying Taco versus Falcon and Vicious Satsuma versus Krabbling for our 2 semi-finalist matchups there. And for these 2, my predictions moving forward to see who is going to vie for the finals is going to be Flying Taco versus Krabbling. I think this is kind of be a little bit of a, maybe not as of a predictable pick, but I think Flying Taco is going to triumph over Falcon, even though I think Falcon has been doing very, very well. He has been just performing exceptionally well, but I just going to be going for a little bit of an underdog here, so I'm going to be picking Flying Taco moving forward, and then I am going to be selecting Krabbling, though, over Vicious Satsuma, even though Vicious Satsuma is RTK. Krabbling, I'm just going to be picking him for that finalist position, and that is going to set up 2 of the last 2 matchups, which is going to be one for the 3rd place and one for the final spot. So we're going to be going over the prediction for that 3rd place, which is going to be between Falcon and Vicious Satsuma, at least for my predictions. And for that, I do believe that Falcon is going to be taking that 3rd place position over Vicious Satsuma. I think, Falcon is he is very good. And so I kind of expect him to at least get at least to there. Now for the final matchup between Flying Taco and Krabbling to see who is going to be for the world champion, I think that prediction is going to be going with Krabbling. So that is my pick for the finalist. And then 2nd place, of course, is going to be Flying Taco here. But this is just my predictions going forward for the Warhammer World Championship 64-person bracket. So it's going to be some very exciting games, though regardless, stay tuned for all of these streams. And just a little note on how all of these are going to be going. These are going to be best of 5s for that final stage format from what I can tell. And then I believe once it gets into the finals, I think it gets into the best of 10. So yeah, the grand final and the third place is going to be best of 7. So that is really where the depth is going to come into play a lot for this tournament. So some of those people who have gotten into this final round, who haven't really been around the tournament scene so much, these best of 5s is actually going to be really kind of punishing for them, because you really do need that depth in factions. You can't just have like 3 or 4 factions where you're really good at to really help carry you through. You really do need to have a depth of like 5 plus at least to get moving forward here when it is best of 5s and especially best of 7s. So that is going to be some great fun indeed to be seeing all of these matchups. But that is my predictions, and that is all I'm going to have for you today. I do hope you enjoy the predictions. And one more thing, just before we finish up, I am going to be having a little competition to see who can predict the best final. So how this is all going to work out is all of the initial groups, the round of 64, all of those are going to be worth 1 point each. And then as you progress, each of those rounds is going to be worth more and more points. So if you are familiar with the March Madness of college basketball in the United States, then that is going to be kind of the format for how the points are going to be tallied up. So if you are interested in entering that, just join my Discord. There's going to be a little channel there. So we're going to have the whole bracket. So just fill that out. I am going to be giving until we're going to say Friday. We're going to say Friday before to make your predictions. I know some games are still going to be playing during that time, but it is just the first round of 64. Really, the big predictions is going to be with the later stages. So I'm going to be given until Friday to get those brackets filled out and submitted. So just post a picture in that Discord if you do want to join that. It is going to be just a $5 Steam gift card for whoever is able to win. And you do have to beat my own predictions if you do want to take that. So that is going to be the benchmark there. But that is going to be now all I have for you today. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good one.